Hi, everybody. It's me. And I have my special guest, Mel Doerr.
It's
Say
my
hi, Mel.
pleasure to be here. Hi, everybody. Oh my goodness, I feel so honored to be on your YouTube channel.
Thank you. I pushed him in this, you guys. He was like, huh? What? You didn't even really know
I,
who I was.
I didn't. And
It's like,
thanks to,
excuse me, you don't know who I am? Moi? He's like,
no,
who?
I do.
I met him through a client of yours named Gunnar.
Gunnar, yes. And he told me about you, and he called and said, can I tell Linda about you? And I said, yeah, go ahead. And he did. And I have to say, Linda and I have read each other, but you know, I've been doing my work for over 45 years. I'm located outside of Chicago. And over in that time, you know, there have been a lot of mediums and people who read me, and some in particular based it all on what I put on social media. But Linda, you are the first one in all of those years that ever brought in my father. And what you said was spot on. And even with my mom, there was stuff that you said that only she and I knew about. And
Wow.
it was kind of this thing I had with her, like when she crossed over, not that I wanted her to, but there were certain things that would come through, and boy, it did. So Linda is the real McCoy, everybody.
So thank you, because I said, would you like to be on my channel? Because we both have the same input about, you know what, Cheeto. But give us a little bit more history about who you are, and I'll put his, where you can reach him, you guys, on the bottom of this if you want to schedule an appointment.
Schedule. You know, I was 12 years old when I learned the word psychic, and I always knew I could do it. I started my readings when I was 18. I went to college. I studied psychology because I was interested in ESP. Still didn't find the answers for the psychic stuff, of how it occurs. But anyway, you know, I used to be a social worker, but I did my psychic work at night on the weekends. And then one day I just said, I'm doing it. I'm just going to fish or cut bait and jump into it. And you know, I met the psychic Peter Herkos. Peter worked on the Boston Strangler case and the Sharon Tate murders years ago. And so there was a book written about him. See the movie that did Dead Zone? The psychic in that is based on Peter Herkos's life.
Whoa, Dead Zone?
Yes, the Dead Zone.
Okay.
So anyway, you know, I work with him. I sat with the spiritualists. I've studied shamanism for years. I've studied Hawaiian things. Hello to my friends on Kauai. And so, you know, I've worked on murder cases, missing people. I've got a blessing from Pope John Paul II for my work with missing children. So when people say what we do is not of the church, I'm going, no, wrong. I've got a blessing from the Pope. You know, and over the course of my career, I've read for celebrities, a lot of, you know, sports figures, local people, doctors, lawyers, the gambit. So I've been doing this a long time. You know, it's hard for me to talk about myself.
Right. But you're very good, by the way. He picked up my dad, you guys. He knew exactly what.
Your mom's
You knew
too.
exactly. Yeah.
Your grandma, she's doing the cards.
Oh, yeah. My grandma on my mom's side, my Indian side. Well, not Indian, Native American.
There.
They don't like me to say Indian.
Oh, Native American. Yes, that's better.
Yeah, Native American. So you guys, the good news is, the reason I asked him to the channel is he also feels the same as me, that Cheeto will be gone. Gone, baby, gone. And
at some point, I think he's going to be under indictment after he's out of office, along probably with Mitch McConnell. I think Bill Barr is going to be under indictment at some point.
And Jared.
Yes, and I also think Nunes is, you know, going to be under indictment. So I think a lot of these people, I mean, there's so much more that's going to come out. And if anybody read the book Might Marry Trump, that is a gentle breeze considered to what I see coming.
Like from Cohen.
Michael Cohen. Absolutely, absolutely. And I think he's going to open up and tell more.
Okay.
You know, the scary part of this is, though, is I think people think that Donald Trump is manipulating the politicians. They're manipulating him by telling him how great he is. And that's what makes it so frightening.
Right, because he said he did that test at Walter Reed, and he said, oh, I did the test, and they were telling me, oh, what an absolutely fantastic job I'm doing. And I thought, that's how you talk to children.
Well, I have to ring my bell. You won't see it, but you'll hear it.
Yeah.
That bell is my BS bell. I keep it going.
Oh, when you're talking about Trump, you're probably doing this all the time.
Oh my God, Lynn, it's got a motor on it.
Jeez. I don't feel it's being a tight squeeze with this election at all. And you would tell me different if you didn't feel different.
Well, the thing that's concerning a lot of people is because they say Kanye West is going to run. And I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to vote for Kanye. You know, you know, Trump is not a Republican. He's a Trumpster.
Yeah, right.
Because there are a lot of Republicans that don't like Trump.
Right. But they'll hold their nose. Yeah.
Well, there's some that Republicans against Trump watch the ads.
Okay.
But I think with Kanye West, I think what the Republicans are trying to do is pretty obvious. It doesn't take psychics to figure it out, is to get votes for Kanye to take votes away from Biden. But it might end up taking votes away from Trump if he's even on the ballot. So I don't think anybody in their right mind would vote for him, for Kanye anyway. It's a ruse. It's a total ruse.
Well, and I've told this till I'm blue in the face, and I don't want my people to worry, but I see him losing bigly. They have no idea what's about ready to come. And yeah, they're going to cheat and do everything they can.
Anything in their power.
Anything.
I still think though, but we still have to be really careful, because I think, if the independents or the Democrats start thinking they've got it in the bag, that's what can be really dangerous. So they've got to really hammer it home and don't get lax, because if they do, there's a possibility that Cheeto could be back in office. I don't see that, but it's a warning.
Okay.
I think if this COVID thing hadn't happened, and many of us had predicted a virus was coming and had predicted the economy would crash under Trump, I think, if the election had been a year ago, Trump would have probably won, but not now. Not with everything, the lack of action about COVID. I mean, all of the above. And the economy being so bad. He plays wag the dog. When it came out that the GMP was down by 39%, he was talking about changing the election date. I mean, give me a break. It's just all diversion and deception.
Right.
And people are seeing that.
Do you think Barr will be in trouble too?
I do. I see an indictment for him.
Do you think this Durham thing will do anything? Are they going to say, hey, we got a big one here? The Obama campaign was or the Obama presidency was watching the Trump campaign.
Just run it by me. Just kind of fill me in.
There's a guy Durham who's doing an investigation for Barr, because Trump's, remember he's saying I was being watched.
I got to ring my bell. I got to ring the bell, because that's going to go nowhere. Here again, it's a diversion.
Because every time they talk about it, I feel like, this is a nothing burger.
Well, here's the deal. Trump's been president for almost 4 years. 3 years, 363 days too long, give or take. But, it's always blame Obama, blame Clinton, blame this, blame that. What happened to the buck stops here? Okay, you've been president almost 4 years. Take responsibility for something, which we all know it'll never happen.
No.
This is just all diversion.
In the meantime, he's best friends with Putin. He's chit-chatting. He loves the look. He has to have the picture with Kim Jong-un. He loves the look. He wants to act like he's a big man on campus. Those checks went out. He sent his name on a letter saying, you're very welcome, like it's his money.
Well, it's all photo op, but intuitively, I feel that he's given secrets to Putin. I'm sure he has.
Oh, he is. Well, the big one is removing everybody from Germany, removing our military from Germany was Putin's thing.
Well, because they're trying to weaken the European Union and the United Nations. But I think our next president, Biden, will come in and apologize to them and start to build détente again, which is huge, and take a leadership role.
Right.
And at least be able to say the buck stops here. I hear people saying, oh, Biden can't finish the sentence, he's senile. I'm going, hello, you're drinking the Kool-Aid that the Russians and Trump are putting out.
Right.
The man clearly is not senile, that's for sure.
No, because he can lie on his feet. He can lie. He can come up with stuff.
Exactly.
So I felt that even though they said we're pulling troops out of Germany, and it was a shock to the military people, like, what? We're what? that they're acting like they're working on a plan to do it, but they're going to go slow until he's
I
out of.
think I think it was just another wag the dog. You know, rather than focus on COVID and on the economy and the unemployment and try to get a bill through that where people can get 600 a week, all right, it's diversionary. You know, half the things they say they're going to do, it never gets done. Like the Great Wall, what happened with that? You know?
Yeah, well, a lot of it blew down with one of the hurricanes.
Thank you.
Mhm. And also taking money from the military, which they decided was totally illegal.
Linda, there's going to be so much stuff coming out. I mean, it's going to make Mount St. Helens look like a firecracker.
It's going to be good.
You know, his base will be his base. You know, they've got the Kool-Aid, but, you know, that's not going to change. What they need to focus on are the swing voters and the independents and things like that. And you know, they're doing a good job. Right now, I think Biden's just kind of laying low and let Trump have enough rope to hang himself. And Trump
That's what I was going to say. I was feeling that he was letting Trump he's ruining himself. When he went up there and talked, you know how he likes to play the accordion. When he was up there talking about injecting antiseptics, or it was like, who is this guy? And don't forget, guys, he lost by a landslide on November 18th in the 2018 election. Landslide.
Well, I took Donald's advice and I went out and bought some grain alcohol. You can drink it. It's 95% alcohol. Here it is in my bottle. So if I have a hard day, I can go like this and I can inject it too. I'm being
So are you feeling, you were going to say you had a sort of a spiritual message about this virus we're going through?
You know, I think it's horrible what's going on with the virus.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. And everybody, please, 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 when you're out, wear a mask, because that protects somebody else against you. And you don't want to be karmically responsible for infecting others, and people might die. So take it seriously. I think, you know, if there's any good thing about this COVID thing, my friends in Hawaii tell me that the fish are coming back to the reefs. Yeah, because there's not so many tourists. The skies are clearing up. The air is getting cleaner. You know, I understand the flamingos are back in Venice, which hasn't been for years. The rivers in Europe are cleaning up. So I think it's a message for us to honor the Earth Mother, because she is our home. She's our mother. And we got to take care of it. And I think this is a warning to all of us that we need to be careful and stop stripping the rainforest and stuff like that, because there is some virus lurking there. And if we keep doing this, it's going to hit, and it's going to make this look like a gentle wind.
Right.
You know, so this is a warning. Thank God it's not Ebola. You know, that would be 30 or 40% fatal. And the odd part, not odd part, but you know, the past administration, Obama had a whole response in place for something like this, and Trump defunded it.
And then he's blaming Obama.
Exactly, and he's blaming Obama.
Obama left me with nothing. You think, because you got rid of everything.
Look how they contained Ebola.
Huh?
Look how they contained Ebola when it first came out. That could have been a nightmare, and they did a great job of it. But you know, here we are in the midst of COVID, and it seems like that our leadership at the top is doing nothing.
Well, part of it is the news media saying that it's really affecting people of color more so than anything. And back in the white nationalists over there, they're like, oh, well, yeah, we can live with that. Just like Jared told everybody, well, you know, let New York, we'll say we're going to give them stuff and we won't, which you know what, that happened.
Of course it did.
They said, please send us something. Oh, yeah, we're coming. Because everybody will blame the governors. Ended up that everybody blamed the administration.
Well, look at what happened. Was it the governor of Washington State or whatever who started the original kind of lockdown, and he was called a snake by Trump. All right, and look at how he vilified Dr. Fauci and the woman, I can't think of her name right now.
Dr.
Yes, exactly. So anybody that doesn't march to what he wants to hear their name goes on a certain list.
Well, that leads me to the question I wanted to ask you. All these poor people that we've witnessed being brought down, like Vindman, people who actually stood up to Trump, do they have a new beginning once he's out of office?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. And that's another thing I admired about you. I think I told you this story. There's a Holocaust museum in the suburb of Skokie outside of Chicago. And my partner and I went, and as the docent was talking, she said that Hitler not only killed Jews, but Jehovah's Witnesses and gay people. Well, I'm gay. And so I thanked her for that. And she said, and there was a picture of a woman, she was being chastised by the Nazis. And she said, if this was your family member, would you speak up? And everybody said, oh, yes. And she said, but if that would endanger your family, would you still speak up? So everybody had to think about it.
Yeah.
And I made in my mind right then and there that I would speak up. And when I saw what you were doing, I was like, yes, because here's a woman who has what it takes to speak up. And I thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
And I think this is about America taking its power back and
Yes.
opening that solar plexus chakra and opening the throat chakra to speak up.
Right.
So a lot of people, they will have their reckoning, but a lot of the people who have been vilified, they'll have a fresh start.
I'm being watched by even international people.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm being watched. I'm being observed, because I do talk negative. Not negative. I just say, no, this too shall pass, you guys. This person is no good.
There's a difference between, I think, making value judgments and a reality call.
Right.
You are speaking reality. You're speaking truth.
Right.
And as I said, the people that drank the Kool-Aid, they drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
They're still on the Kool-Aid. But most of us are not.
Right.
And most of us are saying the same thing. I had predicted that there would be rioting and all of that stuff. And I had predicted that this virus would hit and the economy would tank. And here we are.
Wow.
But I think it's a wake-up call to all of us.
Right.
It really is. To get along.
You're bringing, it's the wonderful people. Like if you start a YouTube channel, you'll find out there are fantastic energies out there. Good. And YouTube being a forum that I can use, I didn't realize what a blessing. And there's so many other readers. I don't know if you've had a chance, I'll send you a list that are really fantastic and they're on it. And they kind of did it because they felt the calling. It wasn't about, oh, let me get on YouTube and see how many followers. It was more like, I've got the calling and I need to let everybody know this too shall pass.
And it will.
Yeah.
But I think, how easily we forget. I mean, come on. We're taking children away from their parents at the border.
I know.
That's horrible. That's just not acceptable. And, for an administration to vilify Latinos or Chinese people, or to vilify LGBTQ, and to say that transgender can't be in the military any longer. Hello, this is a wake-up call. And to me, that's just not tolerable. I'm sorry?
It's a changing world.
It certainly is.
And this is open. I mean, we can curse at him till the cows come home, but in our suffering, we see God. And so this suffering has created a whole new well-being. There will be people, like you said, who are still like, white nationalist kind of stuff. But there's a beautiful, beautiful new beginning. And I get terrified emails from people. Oh my God, such and such psychic said he's going to win. And I ask my guides as soon as they say that, and they'll say, remind them of 2018. That was Armageddon. Remind them of Wisconsin when they said they couldn't vote and they stood in line with COVID and everything.
That's right. And it's obvious what they're doing with the slowdown with the postal service because of mail-in votes, and it's rigged and whatever. I mean, I went on a news station who's known to be very right-wing, and a gay man who wait a minute, a gay man though back then in 2016 who predicted that Hillary would win.
Oh yeah,
and she did win. She won the popular vote. I think had the Russians not interfered, this conversation would have been different.
And the thing is, the people didn't come out and vote because they weren't as thrilled for Hillary. Biden, they can stomach more.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think it's a referendum against Trump. It really is.
Right. Now, so for closing, do you see anything we should pay attention to? Are we just the same thing, different day? Or are we going to get ready to go through another little bit of a slide here?
Well, when they say this is going to come back in the fall, it never went away. And I'm thinking there's going to be more close downs. I think, as bad as it is with Cheeto in power, in a way, maybe it needed to happen. Because as you said, before that, people were apathetic. They were just,
Yeah.
times were good, things were going.
And he was like a clown. Let's watch the clown in office to see what he can do. Because he sure gave the good talk.
Exactly.
Remember the fantastic health care that we're going to absolutely, it's going to be better than Obamacare, by the way. Hello. Ding dong.
Yeah, it's like, I've got a plan. Okay, where is it? Right.
But he lies. He lies while breathing.
And take our health care. Well, I would tell people to read the book by Mary Trump, because the big lie was that he started with $1 million loan from his father, and that he built this empire. Wrong. His father backed everything because he needed a front person, because his father didn't have the personality.
Right.
And so when Donald went bankrupt, Daddy bailed him out.
Right.
And he bankrupted all these businesses, and he's bankrupting America in many ways. Many people went morally bankrupt, but there are those of us who are here who are not.
I know.
And it's up to us, I think, to make this new change coming about, and at some point to get along together.
Right.
And we will. We'll get through this. We will all get through this.
Right.
Hopefully the nation will be stronger. I'm
And
just telling everybody to be, go ahead.
The people that stood by him will be taken down too. Remember, we had an opportunity to remove him from office. We had that opportunity, but they all stood there in defiance and wouldn't allow any kind of evidence to come forward.
Well, for somebody to have a trial and not call witnesses is almost having the bank robber watch the bank. Hello, it was such a sham. But everybody has their Waterloo, and those people will be brought down.
They will be.
And so,
quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Jim Jordan, will he go down too?
The answer is absolutely yes.
Yay! Just had
a doubt. It'll take a while. And I think what's going to happen is a lot of these things that would have been prosecuted in the federal system, now we've learned that the states will speak up and do something, because the federal government has no jurisdiction over that.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, Trump's in a lot of trouble, but I never saw him going to jail. I'm sorry, you guys. Maybe you did.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
But what I do see is, with everything coming out, that his empire is going to go down the tubes.
So he might feel sick with it. Like he's a shatter.
What's worse for somebody like him, to go to jail or to watch everything crumble? That's a bigger karma, I think.
Right.
And that's exactly his karma.
This is a man who took down Obama's and Bush and Clinton. They're not hanging in the White House because he thinks he owns the White House.
Exactly. You've got to pay the piper, and he'll have to pay the piper.
Right.
And he thinks his hands are clean because the people that he used to do his dirty work. Yeah, but that's going to come back to bite him as well. Now, there will be a lot of indictments coming down, absolutely, and a lot of jail. It's going to make the Nixon years look like
nothing. We didn't think after Nixon, who knew, huh? And listen, there'll be things put in place with our new president and new administrations that definitely make it so nobody can do this to us again.
And I think what they're going to look at too is, how they dole out presidential pardons, because you just can't, you can't do the quid pro quo, and that will come out. I mean, at some point, Trump is going to be under indictment. He probably won't go to jail. You're right, but an indictment where stuff will stick.
Right. And also, asking his person to ask the UK to let the golf tournament that was a total no. And he doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care. To Donald Trump, the word loyalty, love, constituent, caring is like cup or ink pen or paper. It has no meaning.
Right.
The man, I'm convinced that he's a sociopath. Totally convinced.
Yeah.
There's
And
no
he's
guilt
as
or
bad as
remorse.
he's as bad as I don't know. Hitler, I think, was a little bit crazier in some aspect, but he's
Well,
just
no,
as big as a killer.
I disagree with you on that. Hitler was crazy. Toward the end, he got paranoid. But the
Yeah.
thing that makes it so frightening is that he wasn't, and he was so manipulative.
Oh,
And
and
whether or not you
Trump
want to
follows everything he says.
and whether or not you want to admit it, and I certainly what Hitler did was absolutely horrible. Stalin was worse, but Stalin killed almost 40 million people.
Right.
But Hitler was smart. Donald Trump isn't.
Right. Is Finland part of Russia? That's what he asked.
Oh, I know. It's almost as bad
yeah,
as Sarah Palin. I can see Russia from here. Or she thought Africa was a country. Hello.
All right, my friend. Well, it was wonderful talking to you.
And this has been so much fun. Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. You guys, let me know what you think, and I'll give you guys his information on this YouTube video, and I'll be talking to you again.
Thank you, my dear. You be safe and well. And remember when you go out?
Oh, honey, I got my Biden 2020 mask. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you got to let me know where you got one. I want one.
One of my people sent it to me.
Oh, cool. And get your Everclear.
Yes, yes. I just carry around.
Alcohol.
I just carry around my alcohol.
There you go.
You guys, you take care.
All right. Bye-bye now.